Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr. With me, as always, old boy James Ash, Andy Andrews. How
What's up,
you
brother?
doing?
What up?
Everybody in the world's talking about the drones. We covered the drones on Staring on Thursday night, and not much has really changed. I mean, there's a little bit of extra shit that's happened, but not a whole lot. So it's all still just speculation, all that kind of bullshit. So I figured let's do something completely different and off the wall and weird tonight, something we've never done. So, with that being said, let the old man put the spectacles on so I can read shit. Because I can't see a damn thing without these things on anymore. I'm getting old as hell. Alright, we're going to play a game called Am I the Asshole? Okay, for some of you, you know what this stuff is. You've seen these before on Reddit. It's a whole Reddit group called Am I the Asshole? And basically, people write stories of stuff that happened to them, and they want to know if they're the one that was acting like an asshole in the situation. So I got a couple of these that I thought was kind of cute today. And so I'm going to read them, and then we'll go around the table here, and we'll get everybody's opinion. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to pay for her own vacation? My 37 male, which he's a 37 male, the way he writes this is he's not the brightest bulb. Okay, so I'll try to translate this a little bit for you. It says, my girlfriend, he's 35 or 37. His girlfriend's 35. Okay, he says, my girlfriend had a vacation planned to the Bahamas with her son, who is 12, before we even started dating. Okay, so before they even started dating, she has this thing planned. Before they left, I basically paid for the hotel, the car rental, and even had to pay for their flights since there was a change on the date. Now, I have no issues with the vacation at all, since of course it was planned since before we got together. And I would never try and come between a mother and her kid. She had supposedly been planning this for over a year. Right before they left, she tells me that she needs to borrow $2,500 for the trip. I told her I didn't have it to give to her, as I still have my mortgage to pay and my own kids to take care of. All in all, I've already paid for about $5,000 of the trip. I told her that if she couldn't afford the trip, then she really shouldn't be going. Of course, she's mad, and they left, and I haven't heard from her since. I've seen posts on social media, but no contact at all between us. Of course, friends are telling me I was too hard on her, and that what I said was mean. Am I the asshole? All right, I'll go first. So basically, this chick had this trip to the Bahamas with her kid planned before he got with her. And he was a cool guy. He's like, yeah, go with your kid. That's awesome. No problems. I'm not going to give you no grief about it. Matter of fact, I'll pay for the hotel. I'll pay for the car rental. So he helps out, even helps pay for the tickets because they changed the date of it, right? He spent $5,000. So then she wants to borrow another $2,500 on top of it. Now, keep in mind, they just started dating. It ain't like he's been married to this bitch for like years. Or they've been, boyfriend, girlfriend for years. They just got together. He's already $5,000 deep in this shit. She wants another $2,500. He says, I ain't got that to give you, man. I got my own shit to take care of. So then she gets pissed and won't talk to him anymore. Goes anyway, enjoys his $5,000 he's already spent on the shit. Doesn't even call him, talk to him, nothing. And he wants to know if he's the asshole. I say you are not the asshole, sir. She is being an asshole. That is fucked. You spent $5,000. That woman ought to be thanking you. You know what I mean? I understand helping somebody out. You need a few bucks here and there. Here's $100. Go have fun. That kind of thing. That's understandable and shouldn't, they wouldn't need to say, oh, thank you so much. You're the greatest for something like that. They probably should. It would be kind, but I can understand if it was a small amount. $5,000? $5,000? I wouldn't even give a chick $5,000 if I just started dating her. She'd be like, "Oh, I got to change the date. I need money for the stuff," and I'd be like, "Sorry, that's your fucking problem, dude. I just started dating you. You know what I mean? I'm not paying $5,000 for you to go on a vacation with your kid. Are you out of your mind?" That's my opinion. I think he's absolutely not being the asshole. I think she's being kind of a bitch by not even talking to him after he done shelled out $5,000. And if I was him, I'd dump her stupid ass. I wouldn't put up with it. Because it ain't going to get no better than this. They're on their best behavior when you first get with them. It goes downhill from there. If she's already acting like this, she's going to be a mega bitch. She's going to be horrible, dude. You're going to have to listen to her bullshit all the fucking time. you're going to end up like drinking yourself to death or drowning the bitch in the shower or something. It's not going to be good. Get the fuck out while you can. No, you are not the asshole. She's the asshole. Who wants to go next?
I will. Okay. Good evening. So here's my opinion. She's an asshole, and this is why. She was already planning on going. She wanted him to help pay because she probably spent too much money and didn't have the fucking money, or just to think that he was going to pay for everything so she can get a free ride out of it. Not at all. She was already planning on this. Not, I have to actually agree with James. And just so you know, you have something planned already, and I'm glad the guy went and did it because that's fucked up. She was using him, especially because he didn't want to fuck. If they known each other for a couple years, maybe it'd been a little bit different. But no, you just gave $5,000. Nope, fuck that. I'd go and have my fun. Of course she's gonna fucking say that. It sounds like she's a narcissist or a straight gold digger, and this is where you're just asshole narcissist men. No, that's bullshit. If it was a man, it was the other way around. So people understand this. If it was the other way around, the man was going out with his son or daughter, and he invited her to go and did the same shit, I'd be totally for the woman. It has nothing to do with him being an asshole or she being an asshole. She's an asshole. She just, if you look at it, she thought he was a simp. So she was going to get a free ride. She probably would have ditched him a couple months later anyway because she just got what she wanted out of it. That's exactly what it sounds like. And that's what I think. And the way it looks to me is that she knew she spent too much money, or she wanted to save some money, and she was going to take him, expected him to pay for everything. And that's what she was doing. Now, if it was just him and her, it would have been a different story. But I wouldn't be paying for fucking somebody's kid if I just met him. If they already had it planned, if you got, if you got jumped in, she probably got mad because she wanted him to pay for everything, and that's bullshit. Nope, I have to agree with Hershey on there. I don't know what you think, Andy, but I'll let you go next.
No, I agree with both of you. I mean, damn, dude, $5,000 deep into it as somebody he just met, or even, I mean, I wouldn't even do that probably if I was with him for a freaking year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so this guy's supposed to pay $5,000 or did, and not even going on the vacation with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then she's asking for $2,500. And I mean, that's some balls right there, man, to even do that, in my opinion. But the thing is, the guy was upfront and honest with her. I don't know why his friends said he was harsh on her, because that's the truth. Why do you want to go on a vacation that you may not be able to afford? If this is, you're having to borrow the money for, all the things together, and then you want $2,500 more to for spending. It sounds like that she had this planned, but maybe not paid. I mean, it honestly sounds like that, because $5,000, man, it sounds like he actually paid for the whole damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, who even knows? My opinion is this sounds like something that she wanted to do and acted like she had it all together and acted like all that, and then gets with him and, starts coming up with these, I would have to ask a little more on the story. Like, did you see where they had to change the flight? Did you see, because if he's paying for the hotel and the car rental, so I'm thinking about this, and it's like, so you're telling me she was going on this planned trip to do that, but didn't have the hotel reservations and stuff yet? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, you just got suckered. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. And that's probably why she's not talking to him, because she's gotten what the hell she needed from him and moving on, and who even knows? I mean, I guess social media, I'd have to ask him, are you seeing her kid up in those pictures, or, some big old, long dong Jamaican dude or something, man, taking pictures with her. But, my thing is, though, he's not an asshole, man. That's, she's a straight up, money mongrel, gold digger, whatever you want to call it. But, You know, unfortunately, that's society today with a lot of them. But I'm sure we've all been there to a point, but not no $5,000. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not even. Man, she better. That thing better be lined with gold before she even asked me for $5. You know what I mean? So, but no, seriously, that guy's not an asshole. I think he's really cool for, helping out to begin with, but I don't think he was helping out as well. He was helping out, but I think what it was is she was using him just to pay for the whole thing and never had paid for shit yet. And if this woman has a son, where's the son's father at? Why can't he help pay for his kid to go have fun? So no asshole. She's the bitch, period.
Andy's cheap ass said, I wouldn't do that shit after a year. She's like, honey, I don't get paid till Friday. Can I have $10 against McDonald's? He's like, go digging whore. All right, where's my spectacles? Let's do number 2.
You gotta go to the dollar menu.
Yeah, no shit. All right, here we go. Number 2. Am I the asshole skipping Sunday dinners at my parents' over my sister's dog? Cool title, right? Okay, it says, for my entire life, my parents have hosted Sunday family dinners. Even as we all grew up and moved out, we all come back every week. None of us 4 kids live with my parents, but we see each other weekly. Early last year, my sister bought a black lab. A few months ago, she started bringing it to dinner. My wife and I do not like dogs. We both simply don't want to be around them. We've tried tolerating it, but being annoyed by a dog is not how we want to spend Sundays. It's not a dangerous dog, but it's always kind of there, wanting petted, sniffing, bothering us. You tell it to go away, and it does go away, but it will come back a few minutes later. I asked my parents why my sister started bringing it and if it can stop. They said when she was over during the week, she started bringing it and then eventually to Sunday dinner. They said they talked to her. The following Sunday, the dog was there. It was more of the same behavior and annoyance by my wife and I. We opted to skip the following Sunday. This past Sunday, I asked my mom if the dog was going to be there. She said probably, and said she wanted to keep bringing her dog. I told her we'd skip again. I think that sent a message to my mom. Yesterday, I got a call from my sister. She flipped out on me, saying I was being selfish asshole for not wanting the dog over on Sundays. She told me the dog is part of the family now, and I need to accept it. I was like, the dog isn't my family. I called her insane for thinking we should just accept that as a fact. The conversation was tense and ended with no resolution. Am I the asshole? This one is interesting. And this one I think we're probably going to have different opinions on. Because I also do not like fucking dogs. I can't stand dogs. I hate a fucking dog. And here's why I hate dogs. When I was a kid, I was on the town lot playing basketball. And this big ass Doberman started chasing me. Come barking at my ass trying to kill me. And chased me all the way from the town lot all the way to my grandmother's house on 8th Street. Now, Andy knows where that is. That's like, what, 3-4 blocks? That's a pretty far distance. I'm running my ass with this Doberman on my heels, snarling and barking and trying to kill me. I finally get to my grandma's house. I grab the screen door to go onto the porch to get to the other door to get in the house. I grab the screen door. That son of a bitch bit me right on the ass. And I mean, it fucking latched on onto my ass. And I'm swatting it and shaking and trying to get that bastard off me, and he's just holding on tight to my ass. My grandmother hears me screaming, has to come out and beat him with a broom handle over and over and over again to get him to release from my ass and run away. So that's why I do not fucking like dogs. I don't give a shit if it's a big dog, a little dog, a happy dog, a friendly dog. Fuck a dog. I can't stand dogs. So there are members of my family who I have not seen forever. Like, I don't go to their house because they have dogs and I don't like dogs. So I can understand where these people are coming from. Now, they don't say they're afraid of dogs or that they had a bad experience with dogs. They just don't like them. Dogs annoy them, right? But I can sympathize because I'm like that as well. I will not go to your house. If you have a dog, I'm not coming over. Fuck your dog. I don't give a shit. You're not going to see me at your house. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen because I just don't like dogs. And I'm not afraid of them, but I watch them like a fucking hawk. I don't trust them at all. You know what I mean? Because you always see these stories in the news. Some person's had a dog their whole life and then, oh, they had a heart attack and died, but they lived alone, so nobody knew for like 2 or 3 days. And they get there and the dog done ate their face or something. You know what I mean? That's some crazy shit. Your animals will fucking eat you. They're not your children, people. And that's another thing that drives me crazy is she's talking about that dog is their fucking family. No, it's not. It's a dog, dickhead. It's an animal. It's not a human being. It's not your fucking family. You might love it, but that doesn't mean that it responds the same way to you. It loves you now because you feed it. As soon as you die, it will feed on you. That's how it works. Dogs and cats too. They always eat their owners when they're left alone with them. If their owner dies, they're getting fucking ate. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean? So, no, I don't think you're the asshole. Look, old boy's got a fucking dog. I don't think she's the asshole. Fuck the dog. The dog's an asshole. The sister's an asshole for being an asshole. And that's what I think, man. I don't blame her at all. I would not go to family dinner. If there was a damn dog at my family dinner, I'm not going. You know, I'm not putting up with that bullshit. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my time. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my food because I'm going to be watching out for that dumb dog all the time. And people that love dogs, cool. I'm happy you like dogs. I'm happy to make you happy. You know what I mean? But I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan, and I don't go to people's houses that have dogs. I don't bitch at them. I don't say nothing rude to them. Let them have their family. That's cool if that's what they want to think. But I'm not coming over. You know what I mean? And I'll tell them, too. If they invite me over, I'll be like, you got a dog? That's what I always ask. You got a dog? And they say no. I say, cool. I might come over. If they say yes, I say, I ain't going to go. Like, we went to an investigation with a dog. Andy remembers this one. That one out in the boonies. And they had that damn dog that kept coming over and getting in my lap and shit. I'm like, fuck off, dog. Jesus. It made the whole investigation suck. You know what I mean? That's why I don't do a whole lot of home things either, because I don't like to go to people's houses, because damn near everybody has a dog. And they just annoy the shit out of me. So, my ruling on this one is no, you guys are not the asshole. The sister's the asshole. She may love her dog, but she can keep the damn thing in her own house. If she knows it bothers you and your wife and you don't want it there and you're not enjoying dinner and you don't want to go because of the dog, she's aware of all of that, but yet she's mad at you because the dog's more important than you are, she's fucking delusional. The dog is not more important than you. You are a human being. It is a dog. She is a fucking crazy person. That's my opinion. Who wants to go next?
Here's the crazy thing. One, fuck you, my dog's awesome and she wouldn't bite anybody. Two, my cat's more annoying than my dog. That's what pisses me off. And you know what? James can testify about my fucking cat. That motherfucker, when we used to do shows, it would purposely fuck with me while I'm sitting there doing a show years ago, and it would fucking do it for purpose. Pain in the ass cat was worse than the dog. Shit, I'd rather do. But I gotta agree with James because my parents' dog, I love that dog, but it fucking jumps. It's a pain in the ass. It's their dog, but I'll still go to their house. But like I told him, put him away because it just scratches. And she's a good dog. I don't hate her, but she's too much. Like they didn't really train her too well. And I don't. It's not like I'll still go over there, but I like sitting outside because I don't want her jumping on us. And I have to agree with that shit. Most of the time, if somebody has a dog, I don't care. I don't get like that. But sometimes people, when they bring their dogs in my house, that ain't gonna fucking happen. I already have one dog. They're not gonna get along. We'll leave it at that. But if you can't come to my house and you got to bring a fucking dog with you or somebody else's house, you bring your dog. Now, if you leave them outside or something, that's a whole different story. If they're inside, the fucking dog's bugging you. No, if they put them outside, then that's a whole different story. They're out in the backyard or something. Then I don't care then, because if I don't go in the backyard, I don't see them. Or if they put them away, that's a whole different story. But yeah, I kind of agree with James, surprisingly. I don't hate people that have dogs or anything, because I have a dog. I can't be, my dog's cool. My dog gets along with everyone. It's trained though. You have to train your dog too. But other than that, Yeah, I've been to people's houses and their dogs jumping on me and shit. I hate that shit. Sometimes dogs are cool. I'm not the biggest dog person either, guys. I love cats better. I've always been a cat person over dogs. I love my cat. You fuck with my cat, I'll break your hands, dude. Like, that's a whole different story. My cat, that's a special cat. Even though she's a pain in the ass, dude. I love that cat. That little fucker. When I used to live on my own, they would feed her shrimp and all kinds of shit. She would come up and sit at the table and fucking eat. When I first met Jackie, she made a shepherd's pie. That little bitch got up there and started helping herself to the shepherd's pie. Jackie almost killed that cat because my wife's cooking is good. And I'm sorry if you just so you know, shepherd pie is good, but my wife is a really good cook, and she wasn't gonna handle it. I'll tell you one thing you don't do: you don't fuck with a woman's cooking, not at all. Everybody knows that. You go in there and fuck with them, you get smacked with a spoon. I used to get my ass kicked by my grandmother because I used to go in there and pick at shit, and she was old Italian. They slapped me in the fucking hand, dude. And I remember that shit. But she could kill one hell of a cook. And that's even my grandfather knew not to stay the fuck out of that kitchen, dude, because she knew what she was doing, and she knew the fuck where everything was at, too. And she made it by all hand, lard, all that shit that wasn't good for you. I ate it. And I got as big as a fucking house. I remember I was skinny as a rail, and I moved in with him about 5-6 months later. I was fucking 30 pounds bigger. I had my own sodas. She let me go in there and drink any kind of soda I want. I got anything I wanted. She spoiled me, bro. And you know what? I love that woman. And she was one hell of a cook, but she had dogs. And she used to feed them fucking toast. And she took them everywhere. And that's just how they were. But it is what it is. But that's just my opinion. I kind of agree with Hershey on some of that. Go ahead, Andy.
So see, I don't like freaking pussycats, but that's only because I'm allergic to a lot of them. So that's the one reason why, and I think they're sneaky too, man. Like, you got to watch them. They'll come up on your ass and like whack, you know what I'm saying? But, so I'm like on the fence with this one. So my dogs, I do look at them like my children, you know what I'm saying? And, I would never pick a dog over my child, saying nothing like that. But, we just had one pass. Matter of fact, what's they said yesterday, a year ago yesterday, that we had with us, man, little wiener dog that we had for, Jesus, man, 12, 13 years. And, but just like old boy said, he was trained. Like, I could literally look at him and say, you need to go to bed, and like point, and he would go right up the steps, man, And now we got the other one now he's the scratcher and the jump up on you and stuff, but he's the breed that he is known for that. But I can say my oldest son's doing really well with him. Like, he's training him pretty good. So he just turned a year yesterday, which is crazy, man. The dog dies on December 16th. And then we go pick up this one, and we're reading the papers on the way back and find out, the same day that the dog died, this one was born. So kind of weird. But how I feel about this is there's got to be a respect there, man. There can be a common ground that can be met here. So if the sister wants to bring the dog over, then she should have it crated or outside, or maybe mom and dad have a room, you know what I'm saying, that they can go in. And while the brother's there, and the wife's there, they, she respects that, you know what I mean? And that's how I feel about it. But then I also look at it like this, that why would you want to bring the dog there and as well, like, just cage it? You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, then leave it at home. And, if a person, I don't think the guy's an asshole if he's being straight up and saying, this is why I don't come. This is what's going on with it. I don't like dogs. And you can't force, somebody to like something that they just don't, you know what I mean? That's the way it is. So, I think that the asshole is actually the sister in this situation. because she didn't even sound like she was willing to compromise and just went off, because it sounds like maybe mom and dad finally seen the light and probably told her, you're going to have to leave the dog at home, and that's probably why she bawled him out. But the thing is, the guy's being straight up and he's saying, my wife and I don't like the dog jumping on us or doing this or doing that. We just don't like the dog around us. We're not dog people. So with that being said, at some point, it sounds like this guy tolerated it for a few weeks and then told him what was up. And with that being said, there should have been some kind of an agreement made at that point in time. Maybe he was a little bit of an asshole just not showing up or something over the dog, but his point had to be made at the same time, and it's like, yeah, mom and dad's house, so really they have to say so when it's all over and done. And they should have probably told the sister, hey, if she's coming over there every other day, it sounds like, because didn't they say something about that she started bringing him through the week and then, started on Sunday? Okay, well, if you're going to use the excuse that you want your mom and dad to see him, well, if you're bringing them there all week, you know what I'm saying? That's enough grandma and grandpa to, love on the dog or whatever. And, but like I said, I think that what this comes down to is simply disrespect for somebody else's feelings on things and how they feel. And, especially if it's your sister, you would think that she would, call up and say, well, what would make you more comfortable? Can I still bring it over and, I'll keep it, on a outside or something, or, and you never know, the brother might have ended up, man, like after a while and shit, might end up, well, let him go and giving him a couple minutes, you know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, while the brother was there and his wife, she should have the dog crated, or she should have the dog, don't bring it, or, there's always alternatives. There's always a mutual agreement, but it seems like that this could really go with anything in society today anymore, nobody wants to meet in the middle. They will all want it to be their way, and don't force a dog on anybody. My oldest, he got bit, but he got scratched. Thank God that was all that happened. But when he was a kid, his mom was pushing him in the stroller down the street, and the dog jumped the fence, man, and come at her. And she, I guess, I remember she got bit a little bit, and then the kid got scratched. And he had a big problem, man, being around dogs for a little while, and but this dog had already done damage to other people, and they ended up, man, putting it down, because these people, man, no matter what they did, and like you said, all animals, man, even though, I love the ones I have and stuff like that, I'll always, man, keep in the back of my mind that that's what they are. They're animals, and anything can just happen a quick second, man, anything. You don't know what's going to trigger them. You don't know what they're, going through, because they can't talk and tell you that, hey, my brain is hurting or something, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, bam, they snap, and I've seen that happen quite a bit. And, but the thing is, dog owners, if they want to be a dog owner, they need to be responsible. And that's exactly what my two go through. And if they know that somebody doesn't want a dog around them, then usually every time somebody comes by and visits us, Jared puts the dog upstairs. And then, if the person asks, they want to see it, then that's another thing. But, I've been even on investigations, man, with a dude that had a dog, and he would bring that dog to the investigations, man. And there was a difference between having a really cool dog that was kind of like attentive and stuff like that, that would listen and walk beside him. Sure, you can use that a little bit, but this guy would let that dog out of his vehicle, and that dog was like, "Hey, man, freedom." And I mean, there was a couple times, man, that I caught a camera one time, like a very expensive camera, man. He came running into the room we were in and like jumped up. And I felt bad for the owners of this property. It is a historical place, and they didn't want to be assholes and tell the guy, no, you can't bring him in because it was cold outside. But the thing is, I'm sure they were thinking that he would be more responsible, And you're running around. This dog was running around with, antiques everywhere. And then finally somebody had to say something. And yeah, so that was another thing. It's all about a respect, man. This dude's not an asshole for, he clearly stated, you know what I'm saying, that they weren't coming over because the dog was coming over. And that's when the sister should have said, well, what can I do to do this? Then mom and dad should have stepped up and said, if we're going to pick between the dog and our son, dog's going to have to stay. Dog's going to have to stay home. Or, like I said, there's crates. It sounds like this woman doesn't have nothing else, man, at home. So she made it just like her baby. And, I love my sister, but she used to be the same way, dude, with the dog that she still has. And I'll finish up here, but like, for example, one time I went to McDonald's and got the kids, like Happy Meals and stuff, chicken nuggets. And, Trevor wasn't but, maybe 6, 7 years old. I don't even think he was that old. And, he was scared to death of that dog, little Chihuahua. They look mean and sound shitty, and anyway, he would like bully to get, what he wanted. And so Trevor just like took his hands back, man, like didn't want anything to do with it. And my sister's sitting right there, man, and the dog like jumps up and grabs like the nuggets and pulls them off the table, And my sister starts laughing while Trevor's going through like this moment of scared to death and stuff like that, And but she, allows that dog to do. There's nothing wrong with disciplining a dog, and that's the way it is. And you don't have to beat it, but you could put that little fucker in a cage for a little bit and tell him bad, and they'll get it after a while. And then if they don't, then yeah, whack them on that nose a couple times, they'll stop. But no, I love talking of. Here he comes. It's always get ready to jump up. But yeah, so that's my opinion on it. No asshole. He was right.
You see, the problem is like pet owners don't think clearly. They don't see their animal as what it is. They love that animal, so they see it as part of the family. Oh, Spot's a good boy. He ain't never hurt nobody. He's good with the kids, blah, blah, blah. They forget that motherfucker is a wolf. He's just a modified wolf. Every dog in existence comes from wolves. Okay? They all have that killer instinct inside them still, and they don't see that. And that's the problem. That's why you have all these attacks and shit happen. Because people are used to their animals. They're around them every day, and they don't think, yeah, this animal's an asshole sometimes. Because they're not an asshole to them usually. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And speaking of your sister, I just saw her the other day. I saw her at Walmart. She was wandering around aimlessly, and I was like, what are you doing, Wendy? And she said, I'm looking for Grandma. She done gave me the slip. She ran off somewhere. We looked and looked, couldn't find her old ass. And then I saw her the next day at Family Dollar, and I walked up behind your grandma. I said, I see Wendy was able to find your ass. And she started laughing. Yeah, she's an awesome chick, man. But yeah, that's the problem. People don't know their animals the way they actually are. They know them as a member of their family, and they're just not that. You know what I mean? All right, next one. Back on with the spectacles. Am I the asshole for not attending Christmas lunch with the in-laws? So already you know this shit's going to be good because it's in-laws. My in-laws don't like me. They tolerate me, never made the effort to get to know me. Oh, we forgot Old Boy, didn't we? No, Old Boy, we got Old Boy. I want to make sure because Old Boy gets to be a prima donna sometimes, and we make sure we got him. But we got him. Okay. My in-laws don't like me. They tolerate me, never made the effort to get to know me. My husband is not close to them. I encourage him to call and see them despite their feelings about me. Father-in-law retired this year. He was a cabinet maker. He did not want to retire and has been offering to come to our house to fix things. I had been reluctant to agree. Hubby convinced me, saying families help each other. He fixed a drawer that broke with different sized bits of wood. Hubby has been battling with severe depression and anxiety. I've encouraged him to tell his family. He hasn't. I bought some cabinets that needed to be put together. Long story, part of the cabinet was put together the wrong way, which made hanging the door impossible with a screwdriver. I said I'll buy a drill. Hubby said father-in-law has one we can use. We can save money, etc. My mistake was I agreed. Father-in-law comes over with a flat drill battery. It's a boiling hot day. He says he'll get mother-in-law to bring drill batteries. I say let's just do another day. It's hot, etc. He calls mother-in-law, tells her what to get. She says she's unsure where batteries are. He insists to go in the shed, etc. I guess when they're saying a flat battery, they're saying the battery was dead in the drill when he brought it. I assume that's what, and mother-in-law is going to get more batteries and she can't figure out what the hell's going on. He insists that she goes to the shed. Father-in-law says he's going to drill through a piece of wood rather than just screw in the hinge. I ask if that will cause the hinge to fall out. Hubby was also concerned. Father-in-law says no and explains why. Mother-in-law calls back upset, speaks to hubby saying she does not know what she's doing, can't remember our address. Father-in-law has a history of screaming at mother-in-law for stuff like this, and I can probably understand why, because it sounds like mother-in-law might, hit the sauce a little bit. She's kind of flaky. She doesn't have her shit together at all. She's fucking up this whole day. All right, so he yells at her for stuff like that. I say, well, let's just do it on the weekend. It's hot and things are going wrong. Hubby tells father-in-law to drive home safe as he leaves. 15 minutes later, the mother-in-law calls, screaming at the hubby for questioning the father-in-law's abilities. Hubby argues back. Multiple calls happen. Father-in-law says he's upset that hubby told him to drive safe and doesn't like that my uncle made a joke last year about him never retiring. Hubby is distraught, starts dry retching from stress. They are ignoring his calls. He's never seen them this upset. I offered a message. He agrees and approves what I sent. Asked him to be kind to hubby. He's struggling with mental health and can't cope with all this. Asked him not to take their dislike for me out on hubby and be kind to him. Said I would not be coming to Christmas as I need space and to look after myself so I can support him. Sister-in-law calls me. Says father-in-law is very upset. Asked what happened, told her the above. She got angry at me about not talking about hubby's mental health and asked for me to speak to father-in-law if he's upset. I said my priority is my hubby and might speak to father-in-law after things cool down in a few days. Sister-in-law messaged me, accusing me of breaking the family apart and keeping hubby from them. Said father-in-law had a right to make comments. Hubby has had calls from the in-laws, says they want to apologize. Hubby is upset with me because I don't want to see or speak to them right now. Hubby says I'm not to blame. The father-in-law overreacted and says I need to forgive him. Hubby wants me to go with him for Christmas lunch. I decline, saying I need the space. Am I the asshole? Woo! This one was a hell of a ride. Hell of a ride. First of all, whenever you got anything going on with the in-laws, that's a fucking nightmare waiting to happen. That's just no fun. No fun at all. And this one sounds like a doozy, man. It'd be fun to just watch this shit, right? Like to be a friend of theirs or something that's just hanging out at the house that day, and you see this colossal clusterfuck in the making happening live in front of you. Because you got a father-in-law that shows up without the proper stuff. You got a mother-in-law that can't find nothing. It's wandering around confused and freaked out. You got a pussy hubby who's oh, I can't handle the stress. I'm gonna dry heave. It's a shit show, guys. It's a shit show. So I would say you should have just told him not to worry about it. You can fix it your damn self. You're a man after all, right? I mean, she's not. She's a woman, but her husband's supposedly, allegedly a man, right? He should be able to fix his shit himself. What the fuck is he having his father-in-law come to, or her father-in-law, his father, I guess, come to fix it for him? Why don't he just fix it himself? How fucking hard is it to fix a door on a cabinet? That's not a tough job. That's not something that you got to call in reinforcements for. That's pretty damn easy. Even for somebody who doesn't do a whole lot of stuff like that, it should be pretty damn easy. I mean, so you call this guy, used to be a cabinet maker and shit, but he shows up with a dead drill and he's got to get his wife to bring him batteries. But she's going to screw that up. I mean, you've been married to this woman for half of forever. And it even says in the post that he usually yells at her over shit like this. So if he usually does something, that means he does it quite often. So if he's yelling at her quite often about screwing shit like this up, what does he expect is going to happen when he asks her to do it? She's going to screw it up. So it's just a colossal shit show. Now, are you the asshole for not wanting anything to do with any of this drama? Hell no. I wouldn't either. It's bullshit and it sucks. In-law stuff sucks, man. Having to deal with all their drama and all their bullshit when all you really want to do is tell them to go fuck themselves. But you can't do that because then your wife or your husband gets upset. So you gotta play ball, and that's unfortunately the solution here. Even though you're not going to want to hear it, is no, I don't think you're the asshole. I think you're completely right to not want to deal with all the bullshit because it's nonsense. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? They're overreacting. They're acting like a bunch of fucking pussies, and everybody's freaking out over nothing. Everybody needs to just grow some balls and chill the fuck out. That's the truth of it. But unfortunately, they're your in-laws. So you got to put up with bullshit from your in-laws. That's just the way it works. Because you can't go to war with them. Because if you go to war with them, you end up going to war with your spouse. And that never works out good. That's a divorce waiting to happen. So you just got to grin and bear it, dude. You got to suck it up and do what you got to do. Your hubby needs to man up a little bit. He knows his family's a fucking disaster. He knows that shit. He lived with those people. He grew up with those people. He knows it's a shit show. There's no way he thinks that they're not a shit show. He knows what drama they are. So he never should have put you in that position in the first fucking place. He should have said, hey, honey, I realize the shit's fucked up. That's on me. I got it. I'm the man. I'll fix that shit. And then even if you don't know how to fix that shit, you tell your wife, I will fix that shit. Here's some money. You go to the spa. You have yourself a good fucking day. Then you pick up the phone and you call Andy and you say, Andy, man, get the fuck over here and fix this shit. This shit's all fucked up. I don't know how to fix it. The old lady's getting a massage. We got like an hour and a half to fix this shit. You call one of your friends that knows how to do this shit and you take care of it. You don't call your daddy. What the fuck kind of man calls his daddy? Daddy, come in over here and fix this shit for my wife. Really? You want him to take her to the bedroom too, son? Because I don't think you're man enough to handle that task either. What the fuck? You don't call your daddy to come fix your shit for your wife. No man on this fucking planet should be doing that. Even if you're one of them dudes that can't fix a fucking thing. I would rather call somebody. If I don't have a friend that can do it, I would rather call a professional to come in and pay that motherfucker to fix it, because at least then you're being a man and handling it yourself. You don't call your daddy in to fix your shit, man. That's bush league, dude. That's weak as fuck. I'm sorry. I know people are gonna get mad at me for that, but that's weak, man. And men aren't men anymore, man. These young men they're sad. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. I mean, I'm man enough to admit there's things I don't know how to do. Like Andy installed the water heater in my house because I didn't know how to fucking install a water heater. I didn't know how to do it, but I didn't call my daddy. You know what I mean? I called Andy. I said, hey, man, my water heater's fucked. I got to put one in. He goes, oh, we can put that in, man. I said, I'll buy the water heater. I'll buy you a case of beer. I'll buy you whatever you want. Just come over and help me fix it. And he did. He came over and we took care of the shit. You know what I mean? That's what you do. Even if you don't know how to do it, you get your buddies to help you. That's what being a man's all about. You see, people think that little boys grow up and they become men, right? And then when they become men, they're adults and they're mature. Nah, none of that shit's true. We're always little boys. No matter how old we get, we're always little boys hanging with our buddies. That's what we always are till the day we fucking die. We just have to be more responsible because we got other people that rely on us. See, as you get older, your circle of people that you got to take care of gets bigger. So then you got to make sure they got food. You got to make sure they got a roof over their head. They got clothes. That all their bills are paid. That all the shit's done. That's your job as a man. You know what I mean? If your woman wants to go to work because it fulfills her or some shit, cool. But she shouldn't have to. That's your job as a man. You take care of all that shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if you got to work 3 jobs. You take care of that shit. That's your job. You know what I mean? And that includes fixing shit. And if you don't know how to fix shit, you call somebody who does to fix it, but not your daddy, because that's weak. You don't ever want to call your daddy in on some shit like that. The only time you want to call your daddy as a grown man is to say, "Hey man, look at this shit that I just did. This is awesome." You want your daddy to be proud of you. You don't want your daddy to look at you like, "You wimpy little bitch. How am I still coming over to fix your cabinets, you little bitch?" You know what I mean? That's exactly what your daddy's probably thinking of you. You weak little pussy. It's like, remember that scene from Smokey and the Bandit? There's no way that you come from my loins. That's probably what that man is thinking about you, sir. He's probably thinking, what the fuck? I thought I had a son. Looks like I have a daughter. I got a daughter that married another woman. That's exactly what the fuck happened here because he can't even fix a fucking cabinet. I'm not a fix-it guy, right? I can't rebuild all this shit. I can fix a fucking cabinet, dude. That's easy. That is not a difficult job. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I did bass, I worked, I did stairs with Avery, my buddy. Now, granted, he was a genius. We did these amazing self-supporting marble spiral staircases that met at a landing. Unbelievable shit. And this dude was so brilliant. In order to do those, it takes a lot of really complex mathematical computations that need to be done to determine your load, to determine the angle of the stairs, the exact angle they need to both be sitting, all that stuff to make sure the whole fucking thing don't collapse because those things weigh about 10,000 pounds apiece. And you got micro lambs hanging them bitches that are 700-800 pounds. You know what I mean? Each one that hold it up, that support that shit. They're amazing. And he would do all of those calculations in his head. He would sit there and look at it. And then he'd go take a tape measure, measure a couple things. And he'd sit there for a minute, real quiet, thinking. And he'd say, okay, I know exactly how to do this. And I'd say, did you just do all that math in your head? He'd say, yeah. I said, damn, that's amazing to me. You know what I mean? That he could do that. It was brilliant. Now, he wasn't the smartest guy on the planet by any means. I was a lot smarter than him in every other way. But he was a whiz when it came to building shit. He could build anything. He was an engineering marvel. He was amazing. And yeah, so I did that work too. So I mean, I can do some stuff. You know what I mean? But you just don't call your dad, man. That's my view on it. Now the other guys might think I'm full of shit. They might think that's a terrible way to think, but I mean that's just the way I grew up. You don't do that, man. As the man, you got to take care of all that shit. You know, you're the one supposed to be getting up in the morning when it's cold and going out and starting that car and making sure it's warmed up for your old lady. So when she gets up to go to work, she don't have to go out and sit in a freezing ass car and sit there for 5 minutes warming it up, shivering. That shit's supposed to be warm for her when she gets there. That's your job. You're supposed to be out there checking the oil, making sure that shit don't break down. That's your job. You're the man. You're supposed to be taking out the trash, mowing the lawn, doing all the shit. That's your fucking job. You know what I mean? And nowadays, men just don't do any of that shit anymore, man. Men, I don't know what the fuck happened to men. Men stopped being honorable and noble. You know, it used to be, they call it chivalrous back in the day. Like you would hold a door for a lady. You would, do those kind of things. You were protective of women. Men aren't even protective of women anymore. It's sad. I don't know what the fuck happened to society, man. But it ain't the way it was designed to be. It's kind of fucked now, in my opinion. But anyway, that's what I think. So whoever wants to go next can go.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. My wife gets up at 4 in the fucking morning. I ain't getting up to fucking start her car. That's on her, bro. And she only here 1 day a week anyway. So I don't get up to 7. So that's on her. Two, I agree with you to a point.
Hey,
but
if you got up and started a car, she might be here more than 1 day a week, motherfucker.
Hey, I ain't paying 90 fucking miles each way, bro. That's just how it's expensive in California. And trust me, I'm pretty good with my wife. But other than that, no, I agree with you to a point. But you know what? Women ain't any different either. They've changed a lot too, bro. So, I did that, been there, done that. Some of them don't appreciate it either. So, you know what? My wife does. I'll give you that. My wife's a whole different kind of breed. She gets what she wants. I just stay out of the kitchen because I don't mess with that. I don't get involved with that. But she's not an asshole. Getting back to the story, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of in-laws either. They're cool. I get along with them. I see them here and there. I don't even like being around my own family. Be honest with you, I never have. I'm not a family person. I'm not ever been a big. But my in-laws are pretty cool. My ex-wife in-laws, that's a whole different story, and I don't even want to get into that. That was a nightmare. And with my parents. In my family, that was a nightmare. So I could just imagine, no, you're not. You don't get a fucking along with somebody. It don't matter if you're family or not. I'm fucking staying away from you. If you're an asshole, I stay away from you. I have a lot of assholes in my family. Not every one of them, but there's a lot of them. You know, even some of the friends are. I consider some of you guys more family than some of my family members. That's just how it is. I'm not a family person. You need to take care of your wife. We'll just be honest on that. And if you're not a builder, then get somebody to do it. Don't call daddy. I never called my dad for shit. When I was younger, now with my car, my dad knew how to work cars. I didn't. Sorry, guys. It's expensive to fucking pay for somebody. That's a whole different story. That's transportation. That's a whole that's not building a cabinet. That's different. But for fucking, like that, or you need something, you need to haul or something, that's a whole different story. But my dad knows how to work on cars. I don't. I'm not a car person. Fuck, I have brand new kids. We pay for them to do it. So fuck that. I ain't going running outside do shit. They can pay. We pay a fucking lot of money, dude. I'm gonna have them do it. But you are right, dude. There's a lot of men that don't even want to work, dude, and it's ridiculous. Both sides of them don't want to work anymore. And actually, a lot of more women are working than men are, and that's just the truth. I see it all the time. I work with the majority of women, and they're hard workers. And they work, and a lot of them, some of them are single, some of them are not, some of them are in and out of relationships, but they still go out and work. 2 or 3 kids, and they go out and work. And it's just sad. But James is right on that. There's a lot of the young guys don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're in and out of relationships, got 3 or 4 kids. They only care about getting one thing, and that's pussy. And I'm not being crude. It's the truth. A lot of women out there, there's a lot of them just looking for money. Like, they want to go marry the one to the 2%, and that ain't going to happen. No, I'm going to be honest with you, just straight up. It's not making fun of. I don't care what anybody gets mad or not. If I'm making $250,000, you're going to get a certain woman. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but you're going after a woman that, one, you can trust, because she's not going to just fuck you and take you over, fuck you in court. I mean, not and fuck you and all together. I'm talking about other and take your money. Because I'm going to be honest, men get screwed. I don't give a fuck. You can look at it statistically, it happens. That's why a lot of men don't want to get married no more. I didn't want to get married, and me and my wife are pretty straight down the middle. We have our own separate accounts, guys. We don't care about our money. She does her thing, and I do mine. Nope. I'll pay for her dinners. Once in a great while, she'll buy me dinner, but I'm the one that pays for her dinners. So, and I'll pay for her stuff, and she'll pay for, but most of the time we have our own accounts. That saves a lot of problems, guys. I'll be honest with you. I don't have to worry about money. She does her own thing, and I do mine. So we split the bills down the way, and some people that's 50. It's whoever has the most that time they pay for it. Whatever happens, that's just what happens. It's expensive to live in the state. Fuck, you can make 6 figures, and it don't mean shit no more. California is expensive as fuck. And I'm different. I believe that you still open the car doors for your woman. You make sure she's safe. If the tire does blow, you fucking fix it. But there's some stuff that I'm just like James. I've never been a crafter. I mean, I know how to fix something to a point. My wife knows how to fix shit. But I don't call my dad. No, fuck no. He knows how to do that shit. But I never call him. I'll call somebody else before I call daddy. That's a whole different story. honestly, and again, dude, my real dad's not in my life, so I really didn't have a real dad. My stepdad's always been in my life, but we, sometimes we didn't always get along, but he's all right. I don't hate him. But, there's stuff that's happened in the past, but, you get over it. You live on it and learn from it. It is what it is. But I'm a survivor, man. I survived a long time. I was in a bad place 10 years ago, and look where I'm at now. I'm on the verge of doing something great. And that's what you got to think. But you find a way to survive, but there's some motherfuckers that don't know how to do that, man. And they don't take anything serious. Like, oh, I got to pay rent tomorrow. Oh, I'll be all right. They get kicked out and they're out in the street. And there's a lot of people who just don't take shit serious. And I'm talking about all together in this day and age, especially the young ones. They don't take anything serious. They always have somebody bailing them out, or they think they should get bailed out. And if you don't help them, they are, fuck you. And that's how they act. Trust me on that. And, it's the truth. And then when something happens bad, fuck you. But when that you tell them something they don't want to hear, but I'm gonna lose my house, Dad, or my mom pay my bills, then they love you. But that's always gonna happen. They're still gonna be your kids. I still love my daughters and my son, but it is what it is. You're gonna have to deal with that. But sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes they don't like hearing that, and that's the problem. And if they don't like it, too bad. They'll get over it. Trust me. And that's the way it goes, because there's to be something else for dad to buy and mom to buy. Trust me. And they're not going to be too mad because Christmas is coming around and they want something for fucking Christmas or their birthday. And of course, they're going to kiss your ass. That's what happens. That's kids. They just learn. That's how it is. We always kiss their parents' ass to get something when we're young. Hey, I want to get a new video game. Well, go out in fucking backyard and work for it. And that's what happened to me. I didn't just get shit. My grandmother now was a different story. See, my grandmother spoiled me, and that was where I was bad, dude. But I got what I wanted. I got my video game. But other than that, saying, there you go, Andy. That was what I had to say about it.
That went from in-laws to kids. So I can kind of relate to this one, man, because my ex-wife, God bless her soul, had my in-laws, I should say, then were straight up, man, like they were rough. Like I had her father and brother like hiding in the bushes in front of my apartment wanting to jump me when I come out because I was just dating his daughter, you know what I mean? And but there's a mutual respect that finally came along there, And I don't know, a couple things on there, man, that bothered me with what she was saying. It sounded like, nobody likes the in-laws like being right up their butts. You know what I'm saying? And I could understand that. But she's saying the in-laws hate me. And then I only heard her say one thing that they said kind of negative towards her. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the first place that you would want to start is to, no wonder they're going to hate your ass if you don't show up for Christmas and lunch. Literally, how long is that going to take out of your life? And that's part of marriage, man, sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You might not like to go to, her knitting class or something like that, but your ass is going to get in the car and go with her, you know what I'm saying? And that's part of it. So I'm a little bit, leaning that, where's the effort at when it comes to, trying to take one for the team, I guess is what I'm saying. And it sounded like she just didn't want them around any, you know what I mean? And it's like, so I'm just going from what I've experienced with some women that, I haven't had a whole bunch of them that lived with me or anything like that. But, some of them that I got with wanted to, they didn't want me to go visit family and shit. It was a control thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like they got jealous just because I, had a good relationship with, like my grandmother or something. And I did. They would bitch and moan and find everything they could to say something. But then I got my grandmother, man, just tell you how it is too. But, you know, she was always respectful. So I can see where there needs to be a little bit of work on her behalf on understanding that this is the guy's parents and you chose this and you chose to be in the marriage. So Christmas lunch, I think she's kind of an ass for not going. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just how many minutes, you know what I'm saying? You can shove it down the throat and haul ass, you know what I'm saying, if you want to. And, you know, you're married, James is married, our old boy's married. And when I was married, there's, you know, that point in time that you kind of look at each other, man, and you know, like, I'm ready to go, you know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing. But, you know, dude needs to grow up, man. He needs to go, like, take a walk through Lowe's and do it like, you know, make it something, you know what I'm saying, that he has to do until he at least knows what the fuck parts or something are, or what does what, you know, because you're either going to learn how to do shit by just trying it, or, you know, you're going to be paying a shit ton of money out to somebody, you know, to come in and fix it. Or, like you said, man, reach out to a friend and say, hey, come over and help me do this. Not, can you come over and do it? Because when you do that, you're actually, you know, that sounds like to me that you're ready to pay the individual. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but hell, man, like you and I putting the water heater in, that was just, we had fun. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, is that, you know, that those times together making memories, even if it is, you know, putting a hot water heater in. And to me, that's, you know, what it's about. It sounds like dad and mom were just that they're old school fucking set in their ways, you know. And dad, he just wants to feel like maybe, you know, he's part of things are important. And I'm sure when people retire and they don't, like she even said that somebody else said he'll never retire, you know. And maybe that's hard on him to step away from work and stuff. So he's still trying to go out there and do it. Probably about half absent-minded, forgets the battery and shit. Then you got the wife. Maybe he's trying to get the fuck away from the mother-in-law too for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. But what I'm saying is I think that she's not really an asshole. I don't want to say that. I think what's going on is that she sounds like she's one of these people that gets a little bit disturbed when he's going to when they're going to her in-laws. And there's got to be a little bit of sacrifice there, man, on behalf. Now, if they're beating her down with words and being nasty and stuff like that, then that's his job to sit down with his parents and say something. You know, this is who I choose to be with, and you got to either accept it or I'm not going to come back over either. And that actually, I went through that, man, with, you know, I won't go into deep conversation about it, but you know, the wife did something my dad didn't approve of. And, you know, pretty much him and I talked, and that's what I told him, you know. I was like, you know, it's the kids, you know, this is your grandson's mom, and you don't get half, you know what I'm saying, and not the other half. And he was understanding. And I mean, there was apologies across the board and stuff, and it was all good. So, yeah. I think that she's not an asshole if she's really looking out for the mental state of her husband, but I think he's a pussy. That's the way I look at it. I think that he needs to grow some, at least try to maybe fix his own stuff, because I didn't hear one thing in there where she said like he was trying to help. You know what I'm saying? It just sounded like that she was bitching about, you know, she's bitching because they're at the house. And then, you know, mom can't find what dad needs. So that means that dad's going to be at the house longer. Now mom's going to end up coming there because she's got to bring the battery. So now we have all the family here and shit. And, you know, so it's like, I can understand the frustration, man, from her. But I think that as in the main thing that she was asking about was, am I an asshole for not going to the Christmas lunch? I'm not going to say an asshole as much as in understanding that there's sacrifice there. And that's kind of the way I feel about it. I understand her side because I've been there, but also know that I loved my wife enough that I may cringe when we were getting ready to go, but I knew that, you know what I'm saying, let's go. And then, I mean, it ended up a lot better than what it was down the road, because eventually the parents are going to be like, well, she ain't fucking leaving him. So you accept it and go on, you know, do your bitching when, after we leave, bitch about her between the two of them. And so, yeah, that's where my opinion is that no, she's not an asshole, but I think she needs to put, you know, some more effort into it, as in his mental state and anxiety and shit. How does she know that she's on his ass about not wanting to be around his parents as part of that problem too, you know? Sounds like dude is caught between parents and a fucking controlling woman. That's what my opinion is. And so she needs to sacrifice some time to go over there. But also, if it's Christmas, man, you know, old boy can pick up the phone, you know, or hubby, and say, hey, I know we've had some problems, you know, but it's Christmas and she's feeling really uncomfortable about coming because she doesn't want to be bitched at or, you know, tore down. And you go over, they do it, then yeah, that's when you tell them, well, we just won't be back. And you choose to break away from your parents, man, when you choose to start your own family. They're still your parents. You still can help each other. You're still family, man. But, you know, you are choosing to make your own family, you know, and that's your responsibility, just like you said. You know, it's up to, I mean, hell, today, man, it's hard for one of the two of you to stay home. But, man, you know, I've always wanted to try to be that breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's impossible. It depends on what means you want to live in too. And, you know, women are headstrong anymore and they want to be equal, which I think they should be. But then there's also that point of, you know, if a husband wants to take care of her and they can do it without her working, then I think that should be, that's very commendable and, you know, kind of old school, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm an old school guy anyway. And the thing that bothered me the most about this story was the husband having the anxiety and all the bullshit, right? Like, dude, you're the man. You're not allowed to have anxiety. You're not allowed to have depression or mental health issues. Suck it up. You are the man. You've got to be the fucking rock for your family. When everything else goes to shit, somebody important dies, whatever the fuck it is, everybody's falling to pieces. You've got to be the rock. You've got to be strong so that your family can come to you. You can comfort them and they can look at you and say, things are going to be okay. Dad's got his shit together. This is going to be all right. That's your fucking job. Now, inside, you can be all fucked up. And after they're cool, you can walk out to the garage by yourself, pretend to be working on the car, and just fucking be like, oh my God, what the fuck? But you cannot do that shit in front of your fucking family. Your job is to be the rock. You are the picture of stability. That is our job. We've got to portray that strength. We're not supposed to be crying like little bitches. We're not supposed to be, oh, I can't take it, the fucking anxiety. That's, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're a man. Doesn't matter if you're fucking happy. You're a man. Your job is to make sure your family is happy, to make sure they're safe and okay. Your job is not to be happy and have unicorns coming out your ass and rainbows everywhere. That's not, you don't get that, dude. You're not a woman. You're a man. Face it, you decided to get married. You decided to have a fucking family. What that means, it doesn't matter what the fuck you want anymore, dude. Your responsibility is to them. You chose that. When you choose to take a wife, she is now your responsibility. You are the head of that household, which means whatever the fuck they do is also on you in the eyes of God. You are supposed to run your house. And part of that is making sure shit is taken care of. Part of that is making sure that you've got your shit together so that when they're upset, they can look to you. And even if you don't have the fucking answers, you fake it till you make it. You never let them know you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You never let them know that you can't fix something. You never let them know that you're all fucked up inside too. Because if they know you're fucked up inside, things are going to get way fucking worse. Because the only thing that keeps them even halfway together is knowing that they got you. And you are strong. And you are solid. And even when they go to pieces, you're going to make sure the shit still gets done. You're going to make sure the bills are paid, the lights are on, the fucking fridge is stocked. That's your job. You are the man. So what you do is what men have been doing for fucking hundreds and thousands of years. You take all that depression, all that sadness, all that rage, all that bullshit that you're feeling. You ball that motherfucker up tight, you shove that shit down. And you just have a heart attack one day. That's what the fuck you do. That's your job. You're not supposed to see this new bullshit that everybody do. Oh, you feel your feelings. It's okay for men to cry. All that bullshit, man. No, it's not. If you want to go in a closet by yourself somewhere and cry, I guess you can do that. But don't ever do that shit in front of your family. There's a reason why all children look at their father as a fucking superhero. That's important. Because the world's a scary fucking place. But they know if dad's here, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be okay. And there ain't no better fucking legacy than that. Your happiness don't mean shit compared to them kids knowing that they're safe. Compared to your wife knowing that nobody's going to come in that home and hurt her. Not while you're there. That no matter what the fuck the world throws at them, you can handle it. She is safe with you. That's the most important thing. So that's why I get a little worked up and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're a pussy. What the fuck? Because that's not your fucking job to be all whiny and bitchy. Your job is to fucking be a man and take care of shit. Handle it. I don't give a fuck if you're happy. You didn't sign up to be happy. I'm not saying you got to be miserable all the time. I'm pretty damn happy in my life. I love my life. I got an awesome fucking family. I got an awesome wife. But I guarantee you that I'm not going freaking the fuck out and crying like a little bitch and making her think that I can't control shit. That woman thinks I can control the weather. Let's put it that way. I walk on water for that woman. You know what I mean? I'll fight the devil himself for her. That's my girl. I love her. I walk in a room, I'll kill every motherfucker in that room for her. That's how much I love that woman. And I'll be damned if she'll ever have a second of her life where she don't feel safe. Or where she thinks things are going to be bad. Because I'm always going to fix it. And if I don't know how to fix it, you better believe somebody I know knows how to fix it. And we're going to fix it. You know what I mean? That's a great thing about being a redneck. Being a redneck is great because you got your boys. And your boys can do any fucking thing. A redneck can do anything in the world. We can fix anything. We can fight anything. We can hunt anything. We can do any fucking thing. Because most of us grew up with nothing. So we can make shit out of nothing. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. So that's all we got for tonight. We've been going for almost an hour and a half, which is amazing that it went that long already. It seemed like only a couple minutes. So I'll throw over to you guys and let you do your sum up, shout outs, all that shit, and we'll wrap up.
Except iTunes. James cannot figure out iTunes for shit. So that's actually not true. I have to help him with that shit. But I want to give a shout out to all you guys on Spotify, YouTube for listening to us. Like I said, go to Staring into the Abyss. it's going to come up as that, but War Screwed's on there. It just that it's on the same page. We couldn't do two separate pages. It wouldn't have made any sense. And that's why you guys, if you guys are looking for it, because people have asked me, and YouTube and Facebook. Want to give a shout out to Dragon. He's doing real well. 31 days without a cigarette. He's doing good, guys. He's getting good with his grappling. I still haven't seen any Tiger Bomb fighting stuff. I've seen him working out, but I have seen Dragon. He's got better in the last month. Just wanted to give that shout out to him. Shout out to Tiger Bomb for, this fight coming up in May. We don't know if TikTok's going to be here in June, anything past January, but Trump's getting involved, so we'll see what happens. That being said, shout out to Celeste and Drunken Oracle and her stuff, and anybody on YouTube that and TikTok too I follow. And that being said, I want to thank you guys all for listening to us. And Christmas is coming. Christmas Eve will be next week. We'll probably won't do a show because it's going to be on a Christmas Eve. And yet, CJ, Andy doesn't matter anyways. He's here half the time anyway. But he's always playing music with Corey Philman and Pauly Shore. But other than that,
next Christmas Eve, half of my ass is going to be opened up so they can put a new hip in.
Yeah. See, well, that wouldn't matter anyway. He would, if he wasn't even doing that, he wouldn't be doing it. It's Christmas Eve. He's got to go suck an elf or something. I don't know what he does on his spare time, but whatever. But it's going to be Christmas Eve, guys. So we probably won't. I don't even know if we're going to do anything on Tuesday after that. We could. You know what, guys? Yeah, because that's New Year's Eve. Fuck. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do a Monday special. On New Year's Eve, the weekend of New Year's Eve, we'll do a quick Monday because I'm not doing anything anyway Monday, so we could probably do a Monday on the day before New Year's Eve. We'll do that in 2 weeks, so you guys hear. Steering's different. It'll be on Thursday, so you guys will hear us then. But that being said, I want to thank you guys and thank you for listening to the show and have a good fucking Christmas, motherfuckers. Hanukkah, whatever you believe.
Man. I want to give a shout out to old boy's wife, Jackie, for having to put up with that shit right there. But nah, man, I want to give a shout out to both of you two because, man, I enjoy it, man. I hate when I do have to miss. But, I want to give a shout out to a lot of people, man, that have been checking up on me because that, out of all seriousness, I do have to get a full hip replacement next Christmas on Christmas Eve, which could be like the best. It's going to be the best present I can get. Trust me, man. I've been looking like I don't even know, man. Like I can't even walk. Like you guys aren't around me if you even seen it, but a half a block, man, I have trouble with, and I have to stop because it's that bad. So, yeah, I'm ready to do that so I can get back to doing things that I enjoy. So a shout out to the people that's called me. Hey, do you need anything? You need a ride? You need food? You know what I'm saying? And it's really cool, man. And I want to give a shout out to both my sons, man, because both of them have been, standing up in place when they need to figure some things out. And, yeah, they still come to dad, but it seems like they've rolled on to, talking about getting dad to do some work, man. I just asked Trevor before I got on here if he could go out and look at my brake pads and car and stuff. I know how to do that shit. Don't get me wrong, but, he's 20 years old, man, and loves doing that shit. So, and I get a really good, that makes me proud to sit there and watch him. It really does, man, to see that he does that. And, shit, I learn from them every day, man, with stuff. So that's what's cool. Old lope-de-lope. But, shout out, man, also to all of you guys that listen to us, all of you that, understand that this is just, one weird show, man. That's what it's about. Getting loud, getting proud, and, shout out to my people back in Virginia because, even they've reached out and, to see if I needed stuff. And, it's kind of hard to be in this position just talking about the man thing, you know what I'm saying, when you're you're not 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. On me, it has been, man. It's been rough because, I know that my boys don't know what to think when they see dad can't, make it out the bed to the bathroom without like 25 different popping sounds and stuff like that. But so, shout out to the ones that have to deal with that. And I do wish everybody a definite Merry Christmas or whatever it is that you celebrate at this time. And, understand that it's about being with family and, not how much the presents are and stuff. I'd rather get something homemade that somebody put that, love and effort into than, something, like a Corey Feldman album or something, you know what I'm saying? So I'll take a couple of his movies from back in the day. That'd be cool. Did you guys see the Goonies are getting ready to having a remake of that? I just hope, man, it doesn't screw up the old one. I don't think that you could ever top that one. So, but anyhow, guys, have a good holiday. I'm just gonna ask everybody to put me in prayer or send positive vibes that the hands of the surgeon is on with it. And Eric Jackson, Dr. Eric Jackson, shout out to him. Do not fuck me up, sir. No, he's a really good guy. So I feel like I'm in good hands.
I'm glad you're finally getting that fucking hip replaced, man. Dude's been walking around like Tiny from Devil's Reject for years. You remember Tiny? Tiny fuck the stomp. You remember that guy? He's been walking like that for years, man, just hobbling and it's terrible. And Andy's a big guy, right? So you would think he can't walk very far anyway, but believe it or not, that fucker used to walk miles, man. I mean, he would outwalk my little ass. Well, I'm not little, I'm big too, but I'm not, I'm like big and kind of skinny. Well, not really. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm big too. I'm not a big fat fuck, but I'm big. But he would outwalk me, is what I'm saying. And to see him hobbling around, it sucked, man. I'm glad he's finally getting that shit done. And that takes some balls, man. Even though it's helping, it's going to make your life so much better. And everybody I know who's done it has said that the quality of life is so much better afterwards. So that's awesome. But that takes some balls to go under the knife like that because in my mind, I'm always thinking, what if they fuck me up, man? What if I can't walk after this shit? What if I'm in a wheelchair or some shit? You know what I mean? That's some scary shit, man. Because you don't want to be no useless fuck in a wheelchair. You can't do shit. That sucks, man. I wouldn't want that. But I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This one was a fun one. I want to start doing some different stuff. I was talking about that last week. Just doing completely different stuff that we've never done before, having fun again, making it interesting to us, you know, because that's one of the beautiful things about We're Screwed is you never know what the fuck we're going to be talking about week to week. Now that the election's finally over and all that bullshit's done, we don't have to talk politics every week. We don't have to get super serious every week. We can have some fun, and I'm very stoked for that. On Staring this week, we'll probably be talking about drones again, I would imagine, because that's what everybody's talking about. There's a bunch of crazy shit going on, and maybe by the end of the week, we'll have more information. There's a bunch of theories. We'll talk about them. I gave some theories last time, and I still think my theory is partially right. I think they're ours, and I think they're looking for something. You know what I mean? Exactly what they're looking for, that's up for debate. Some people say nukes. Some people say people. Who knows? We'll find out. But we'll probably be talking about that on Staring. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. As always, up to you to make up your own mind. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of all the stories. Do you think that person who's writing the story was the asshole in each one of those? That'll be interesting. And this will be volume 1. Am I the asshole volume 1? Because I enjoyed this. And we'll probably do this again, I'm sure, multiple times because this was fun. And the cool thing about it is there's a whole big group of it. So it's constantly, every day, there's new shit. So we'll have plenty of stuff to choose from for the next show we do of this. So that'll be fun. We're going to do a bunch of different weird shit. So we'll see what lands and what fails. It doesn't matter. It's fun either way. So anyway, hope you guys make up your own mind. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Merry Christmas. See, I say Christmas now. I don't say Christmas anymore. I say Christmas. I like that because I'm putting Jesus back in the season where he belongs. You know what I mean? Love you guys. Bye bye.